There is no way that I just drew 3 of the exact same card. What is this? Are you going to take control of my monster? Go ahead, look at it. Look at it. Look. It's garbage. My hand is trash. Hello everyone, welcome to a new Dr. Vash video where we're going to be playing Kashtira's, the deck that I've been waiting for like almost 2 years now to come into Master Duel. And I know that they're afraid to put Kashtira's, or they're just trying to wait to get more money out of us. But like, honestly speaking, Kashtira's is one of my favorite decks because 1, I love Xyz summoning. 2, I love interacting with my opponent during their turn, and I love giving them like a clock, like a timer before they lose. Not like instantly locking them out of their board, but like, being good enough to prevent them or give them difficulties over time, just restricting their play. Which I feel restricting play is better than absolute like prevention. And Kashtira is one of the best decks at that, especially on their first releases. Now, when Ariseheart comes into Master Duel, it's going to be different. Ariseheart plays by different rules, and unfortunately, it makes his deck go from like rogue tier to broken. And I feel to hit the deck in the future, they want to just do it for Master Duel, especially for players like me who just love Kashtira for what they are, and not really Macrocosmos. Ariseheart Turbo deck. They could just kind of leave it as is for now for a month or two, just to have people like me who enjoy it. This is probably going to be the primary deck that I play. So yeah, this deck right here isn't the most powerful deck. It's somewhere around generators right now, where it's good, it has winning matchups. However, you do tend to lose to things, and it can't consistently bring a board out, and it can't consistently do its main plays, but that's what makes it fun. Before we hop into the deck profile, I just want to say that on stream that we were just mostly pulled cards for like the first 30 minutes, and we played with a viewer. But if you want to just come by, have some fun, play some games with me, come onto the stream. We can play it live. I don't really care if you can look at my hand, because most decks that I play is not reliant on my hand, or if I go first. Or if you set up the perfect board, I'll just compliment you. I just appreciate having people to play with then. Even if you stream cheat, who cares? So we have 3 copies of Max C, 2 copies of Psybeast. So Psybeast, on normal summon, can banish a psychic monster from the deck, and then his level becomes that monster's level. So all of the Kashtiras are psychics. Whichever one we don't have, or whatever one we feel like summoning, we can banish that one, and we get access to that with our Kashtira spell cards. We have 3 copies of Ash Blossom, because Ash Blossom and Maxi, mostly here to counter Maxi. 3 copies of Ariseheart, because Ariseheart, if we control a Kashtira, we can summon it, and we got special summon monsters from the extra for us turn set for Xyz monsters. Which is why we run 1 Link monster. You can run another copy, or you can run a copy of Nightmare Phoenix or Unicorn if you want to. I necessarily don't want to, but you can, because eventually you will come to moments where you can Link summon. But you can banish 1 Kashtira card from your deck, except for Ariseheart, banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck face down. So this deck's entire gimmick is banishing your opponent's monsters face down. Monster cards from their deck primarily, and we hit their extra deck really hard with this deck, which is going to put a few cards on the ban list most likely, but that's not today, that's the future. We're going to be banishing extra deck cards face down. And then his level becomes 7, so we can normal summon him, then we can make him to a level 7 as needed. We have 2 copies of Dimension Shifter. So Dimension Shifter is a Macrocosmos with legs, and it's really hard to interact with for your opponent. We have 1 copy of Chaos Hunter. So Chaos Hunter prevents our opponents from banishing, and works like a hand trap. So we can discard during our opponent's turn to prevent them from banishing cards. Good against the mirror match, good against cards that needs to banish, stuff like that. Then we have 1 copy of Ascended Thunder. You can run 3 copies, you can run 2, you can run 0. This is one of the cards of contention. I personally prefer Astral Karibo. However, Astral Karibo is a UR, and this card I pulled already is a SR, and if you want more, you can craft it really easily. But if this card is destroyed by opponent's card, by battle or effect, you summon it by paying 3,000, which is why I'm not a big lover of this card. It's a super steep cost for this card, and I'm not a fan of it. Then we have 2 copies of Kashtira Fenrir. So Fenrir's effect allows, if our opponent activates a card, so all Kashtira's other effect, if they control monsters, they'll summon this card from the hand. And on top of that, if our opponent activates a monster effect, all of the Kashtira's have this effect, they do something different. So this one targets 1 face-up card your opponent controls and banishes face down, and is good in any deck, so this card's prepare to see this card everywhere. We have 3 copies of Unicorn. Unicorn has the exact same effect as Fenrir, except when your opponent activates a monster effect, we banish 1 card from their extra deck face down. So we look in their extra deck, and we snap a card out. And we have 2 copies of Kashtira Ogre. So Ogre, we look at the top 5 cards of our opponent's deck and banish it face down, and banish 1 card face down. So we're going to always choose 5, and we're always going to take out the most problematic card we do not want to see. And then we place them on the top of the deck in the same order. So essentially, the first card is always going to be the card they're going to draw on their next turn. And the second card is future. So just either get rid of the top card or the most problematic card that they can search for. Then the next card we have is Dark Hole. So Dark Hole is here because if our opponent tries to illegally lock us, this is our one and only savior. So if we draw it, thank God. If we don't draw it, whatever, we lose. So if we get given a card, our entire deck folds. Then we have 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. So Harpy's Feather Duster, destroy those spell trap cards, just get rid of back row because the deck does struggle with skill drain. Then we have 2 copies of Sacred Sword of 7 Stars, which we banish 1 level 7 monster to draw 2 cards. So if we get Ash, this card is pretty dead, but hopefully we won't get Ashed. 1 copy of Dark Ruler No More. For Dark Ruler No More, we don't really care about killing our opponent all the time, so we can definitely run more than 1 copy of this. And then we have 1 copy of Lightning Storm. If you control no face of cards, draw it. It's pretty much Harpies or Dark Hole, whichever one we need. Then 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent, because this deck needs draw power, honestly speaking. 2 copies of Instant Contact, you can run 3 of it, but this card right here is pretty much lets you bring a level 7 monster. One of the few cards that just states summon a level 7 monster. 3 copies of Kashtira's Birth. So Kashtira's Birth lets us normal summon a level 7 monster without tributing. Not an extra normal summon, unfortunately, so we're still restricted by the 1 normal summon, but we can, if it's our main phase, we can summon 1 non-exist Kashtira monster that's banished or in the graveyard, so we can recur our banished cards really easily. And if our opponent's activated a spell card, we can banish 3 cards on our opponent's face down. So against what's the deck called? Tier Elements, we can really mess with their graveyard if they try to go too hard in their play. Then we have 2 copies Called by the Grave. You can take these out if you want to in the deck. This deck is kind of bricky. 1 copy of Forbidden Droplet, just another out, just in case our opponent tries to give us a monster, we can use it against them. 2 copies of Macro Cosmos, because we can play under Macro Cosmos. And then 1 copy of Kashtira Preparations, which just allows us to special summon 1. It's pretty much the exact same card as Birth, but it's a trap card, and it summons from banish or hand, not grave. And if our opponent activates a trap card while we control a Kashtira monster, we can look at our opponent's hand and banish 1 card face down. Never going to happen, unless we're going to go play against a trap deck, but if it is, we'll for sure be controlling the pants out of their hand. The extra deck 2 level 7 elements or hero fusion cards. Effects don't matter because they're negated. One copy of Baron DeFleur. So Baron, we can normal summon Ash Blossom and get Baron super easily. One copy of Big Eye because it's a rank 7. It's probably the best rank 7 in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Since like the beginning of time. One copy of Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon, just in case. We have to go cowboy for game. This is it. One copy of Titanic Moth because we just need to get a quick and easy Zeus. We can attack directly, but we have to control no other monsters. And the damage is halved, and then we can detach one and inflict 500 damage for each card in our opponent's hand. Not going to happen. We're still going to do the detach, but we're just mostly, if we need Zeus, we have super easy access. Two copy of Diablosis. So Diablosis, pretty much might as well say Kashtira Diablosis, because my god, this card is amazing. Look, target one card in our opponent's extra deck, where we look at our opponent's extra deck. Banish one monster face down, and then if we battle an opponent's monster and destroy it by battle, we can target one card in our opponent's graveyard, banish it face down. And if cards are banished face down while this card is face up on the field, we can banish an equal amount of cards that are banished face down for our opponent's deck face down. So we can easily get up to like a 20 card banish depending on the deck, which is hilarious when it happens. It's not going to happen often, and you have to have the right amount. So it's either exact or more. It can't be less. So our opponent has 19 cards in their deck, and he can only banish 20. He can't banish like 19, which is annoying. One copy of Dark Arm, the Dragon Annihilator. Essentially Dark Arm Dragon, the Xyz version, and he can pop up to as many materials he has. And we banish one card from our graveyard, and he can't attack for the turn, but who cares, because we're going to take. If we banish our Kashtiras, we can resummon them super easily. One copy of Affinitrag Mind Smasher. You can honestly take this card out and replace it with a Link or another rank 7. But this card destroys a monster by battle. You can attach it to it as a material. And then we can detach one material from this card, and this card gets 1,000. So we can get up to pretty high attack, and we can also summon Zeus with this pretty easily. 4 material Zeus. But it's not going to happen all the time. 3 copies of Kashtira Shangri-Ira. So Era effect is we can summon a Kashtira from our deck once per turn, and it protects itself by detaching one. It can only be used with 2 plus level 7 monsters. But every time a card is banished, we can target one unused monster or spell or trap zone. It can't be used while this card is on the field, and your opponent, even if they negate this effects, they do not get their effects back. So if you know you're playing against pendulums, lock out the pendulum zone. If you know you're playing against spell or trap card heavy deck, get rid of their back row. Because since we're picking so much of the extra deck, you get a good idea of what you're playing against, so you can react accordingly. One copy of Zeus. Zeus allows us to just get rid of our opponent's field as needed. Two bags at 1 because he definitely would be a 2 of in this deck, 2 to 3 of. If I had more space, I would definitely take out more cards. And then we have one copy of Underworld Goddess. It's for those moments that, because Kashtiras have low attack, it can't really gain attack very easily. Their strongest monster is just 3,000 attack point cards. So if a card is unaffected, you just kind of lose, just because you can't do anything to that monster. Like if it's 3,100 attack and it's unaffected, you lose. So this is to get around that, hopefully, but we have to summon enough cards, which is possible. This is kind of a hybrid version of like a control variant and an Xyz spam variant. So we can break super easily, especially if we draw into too many spell and trap cards. But we certainly can, if we get a few cards to start, we can definitely go crazy. So let's hop into some games, guys. I'm probably going to get Kaiju, but that's okay. Yep. Activate Kashtira's Birth. Okay, activate Maxi. But at the same time, do want to look at their hands, see what they're playing. Unicorn. There is no way that I just drew 3 of the exact same card. What is this? Put you right. You know what? This might be Cyber Dragons. We're not going to put you there. Era. Look at his hand. Okay, so he has red reboot. Got a Sheen type monster. Due to this. We're gonna go for Finrare. Kind of stuck underneath this guy. Hopefully he tries to destroy him or something. But I know I'm playing against Cyber Dragons now, so... Of course he top decks Dasher! We're in a good position, there's no point. Yeah, Cyber Dragons. I'm glad that I didn't put this in the extra deck monster zone. Like, I felt it in my bones, bro, said that. It was something that... Yeah, go ahead. But he has triple tactics, so I'm trying to play around it a little bit. Alright, so if I remember right... Oh yeah, let's do this. Cool. I have to banish Drizzleworm. So if he activates another effect, if he doesn't just go straight into his battle phase, I'll have to banish Drizzleworm. Let's start getting rid of your monster zones. So now he uses normal summon, so I feel like he uses normal summon. Where he searched out. I want to say he used it. I want to believe he used up his normal summon. What are you going to do? Take control of my monster? Go ahead, look at it. Look at it. Look. It's garbage. My hand is trash. Thank you. You should have just drew 2 cards. Yeah, he's boned. You know, if I would have chose to go first, I definitely would have put Era in the in the extra deck monster zone. So this is if I win this, I'm attributing this 100% to him choosing me go first. Yeah, I knew his next option was to link off for Seeger. Even if you destroy my even if you destroy Finrare, I don't care. I don't think he's ever played against Kashtiras before. Because the right answer was to attack into Finrare. And he lost. So he just... I love this deck. If I would have not, if I would put in the extra monster zone, I would have lost right then and there. You would have fused my card away. The card would have had the exact same attack as Fenrir, and that would have been game. As long as I don't draw into another copy of Ogre, I'm fine. Please, if you have Ash Blossom, this is the moment to activate an opponent. I don't know why people don't run Sacred Sword of 7 Stars. Yeah, I know he has Maxi in his hand. He should have Maxi'd a while ago. Catch me on Digimon, it's game over. Which Digimon? The new Digimon game? The one where it's like a pendulum scale? Yeah, I'm just going to negate Maxi when he activates it. He does not have Maxi in his hand. Honestly, I feel like this is a really good board. Any Digimon game. I actually did play the new Digimon game when it came out. And the Digimon game is certainly weird. I mean, you can negate my effects now, but I'm about to snap a card in your hand, brother. What? Why didn't this work? This already has to be face up. And he has Toon World. Bro, I swear on the next trap card activation, you're cooked. No, thank you. I mean, I'll really put in perspective how trash this deck is if Toons beat it. But I think he's pretty... okay. He just stole a 0 attack point monster. Oh, cool. Does he have Zeus? I mean, if he summons Zeus, I don't really care. I'm just going to negate it, but that'll hurt my feelings. Do it. I dare you. Do it. Do it. Oh, I don't even need my battle phase. So let's just actually use this card. Oh, they gave it an animation now? I didn't know that. Activate Birth. Activate Fenrir's effect. You get Ariseheart. Activate Ariseheart's effect because I control a Kashtira. Activate Preparations. Bring back Unicorn. Deck Thin. I know I'm paranoid about running to Cyber Dragons now, but who really expects to get hit by Cyber Dragon? rid of you. I'm more afraid of toon spells and traps than I am of toon monsters themselves. Even with Toon World up. Well, I mean, yeah, Infinity, but I run Infinity sometimes. Look, I run the Orcus one, right? Oh my goodness, look at this guy's extra deck. Yeah, no thank you. Get rid of Mirror Jade for me. Yeah, the Orcus one with the link field and that's going to be it for his spells. I see. The whole squad. Yes, we're getting rid of Toon Kingdom. I don't know what you have. But a Toon deck that can't search out, that can't properly activate their spell cards is a dead deck. This deck's probably my favorite deck in Master Duel right now. It's not my favorite deck of all time, but man, the back and forth with this deck, the timer, the inconsistencies, I love all of that. I know people play card games for the most consistent decks, but the ability to adapt and the ability to find the right play even in the worst of circumstances, that's what Kashtira really pulls out of you. So, is it the best deck of all time right now? No. Is it extremely good? Like, is it going to beat 80% of the decks of Yu-Gi-Oh? For sure. Like, most decks don't stand a chance against Macrocosmos alone. The fact that this deck can operate and prefers Macrocosmos, you know this deck. And on top of that, it's not like a spam deck, it's more like a control heavy battle damage deck. Exactly what I want. This is what I want sprites to be, but sprites have a bunch of low attack because they're low level monsters. But yeah, if you made this far into the video, please stop by, leave a comment, subscribe. I really appreciate all the support. Appreciate Bro Sep for stopping by. And thank you everyone. So you guys have a great day. Goodbye.